A family in mourning. New tonight on Our News, live at 7. The father of a man gunned down in Yellow Elder says he was loved by many. The community echoing continued calls for an end to senseless violence. This as the latest crime stats released by the police chief show overall crime is down 10%. Plus, vindicated. The Supreme Court clears accountant and former Deputy Prime Minister Peter Turnquest of fraud after a years-long case. Why the court ruled in his favor but found he breached a critical responsibility. Then in Our News at 7:30, crime stats come back into focus as complaints against officers up 40% in 2023, raising the alarm for the police commissioner, emphasizing public trust in the force. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. The Supreme Court has cleared former Deputy Prime Minister Peter Turnquest of fraud in a years-long case. Back in 2020, Alpha Aviation had accused Turnquest and two others of conspiring to defraud the company and alleged Turnquest had breached his fiduciary duty. We've got more on the court ruling in about 5 minutes, but first, we take a look at recently released crime stats. The numbers released Monday show overall crime is down compared to the same period last year. It comes as murders continue to grab national headlines, with 42 people killed since the beginning of the year, leading to an increase in the fear of crime. Police Commissioner Clayton Fernando gave this breakdown.
Overall crime is down by 10%. Crime against the person down 16%, and the property crime is down by 7% thus far for the year.
When Fernando delivered the stats, the murder count stood at 41. Hours later, a man shot and killed in Yellow Elder Gardens on Monday afternoon, becoming the 42nd murder victim for the year. Ahead of the shooting, Fernando admitted things got off to a bad start.
At this present time, we have a total of 41 murders recorded thus far for the year, and to compare with 38 the same time last year.
And the father of the man gunned down just steps away from his home in Yellow Elder Gardens is tonight still mourning his loss. Marlena Leonard tells us residents in that community also reeling in the deadly aftermath.
He lives and born right for 28 years. 28 years. And I really don't say too much things, but he is a nice person. Help all the children in the neighborhood, all the children love him.
That's Nathan McIntosh, the father of the country's latest homicide victim, 28-year-old DeMarcus McIntosh. The father was at a loss for words as he grappled with his son's tragic demise. DeMarcus, who went by the name Mamas, had his challenges, but he was loved by many, says his father. The 28-year-old was a mechanic at the Bahamas Public Parks and Beaches Authority. Asked what message he wished to send to his son's killers, the elder McIntosh had this to say. The Our News team revisited the scene of the crime, where we spoke with a neighbor who wished to remain anonymous.
Very sweet person. I cannot speak on the life that he lived, but if you get to know him, you would like him. Very sweet person.
She says the killing has to stop.
It brings back memory because my son also was shot. But like I said, it brings back memory and they need to stop. It's too much. It's really too much, and be considerate about other people.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
Thanks, Marlena. Well, a pair of teens in hot water tonight after the two arrested on gun possession charges. This after officers from Operation Ceasefire and the Royal Bahamas Defense Force say they confiscated a loaded gun in the Bain and Grantstown community. Police say it all went down around 4 p.m. on Monday. That's when officers say they saw a 17-year-old tossing a gun on Hutchinson Street. They say they found the weapon nearby and arrested the teen. A tip then led officers to arrest another 17-year-old suspect. The Anti-Gang and Firearms Investigation Task Force now investigating the incident. And now to that Supreme Court ruling that has vindicated accountant and former Deputy Prime Minister Peter Turnquest, his co-accused Captain Randy Butler, and his wife Lorna. Turnquest breaking his silence on the matter, saying he remains committed to serving his community. Berthany McDermott reports.
The Supreme Court has cleared accountant Peter Turnquest of fraud and found he breached his fiduciary duty. Supreme Court Justice Carla D. Card-Stubbs ruled that Turnquest breached his fiduciary duty to Alpha Aviation Limited. The company that brought the legal action failed to prove conspiracy to defraud on the part of Turnquest, Captain Randy Butler, and his wife, Lorona Butler. Turnquest, who later became Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance under the Minnis administration, was manager and director of the company. The ruling found that Alpha Aviation did not suffer measurable loss as a result of Turnquest's breach of duty. As a result, they were not awarded. In a statement, Turnquest said he is pleased the Supreme Court rejected the claims against him, adding he has emerged victorious against their baseless allegations of conspiracy. The statement continues, "The victory not only vindicates me, but also stands as a testament to the enduring power of truth and integrity in the face of adversity." He said he remains committed to serving his community with honor, transparency, and unwavering dedication. Alpha Aviation had alleged the trio conspired to defraud it of the outstanding balance owed under a mortgage agreement, and that Turnquest breached his fiduciary duty by executing a deed of release about said mortgage without first securing payment of the money owing under the mortgage. Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, we are less than 2 months away from the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season, and now the director of the National Hurricane Center is urging preparedness. Why he says everyone is at risk no matter the forecast in less than 5 minutes. Speaking of the forecast, it's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Ian McKenzie standing by in the Weather Center. Ian?
Thanks, Candino, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Tuesday evening forecast. We are currently outside our studios. We have few clouds, temperature of 78, nice breezy conditions. Winds are from the east-northeast at 15 miles per hour. Comfortable feels like temperature of 79. Temperatures across the country at this time in our nation's second city, Freeport, we have 77, 76s in Marsh Harbor, Governor's Harbor, 78s in Great Harbor Key, the capital, Nicholstown, and in Allenstown, Bimini. In the central Bahamas, we have 78s continuing in Camps Bay, Georgetown, and Deadman's Key, Long Island, 77s in Arthurstown and Coburn Town, San Salvador. For the southeast Bahamas, we have 79 in Duncantown, Ragged Island, as well as Delectable Bay, 78 in Colonel Hill, Abraham's Bay as well, 81 in Providenciales, and 80 in Matthewtown in Agua. First look at our satellite and radar imagery at this time. High pressure remains a dominant weather feature. Few to no clouds across the area, and that should spell good news for pretty much most of the week. Stick around, extended forecast is still to come.
Thanks, Ian. And still to come on Our News, Deputy Prime Minister attending UN General Assembly Sustainability Week to advocate for sustainable tourism and economic development. And less than 2 months away from the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season, hear why the director of the National Hurricane Center says you're at risk no matter the forecast when Our News returns.
The digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
You've seen electric cars.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation Chester Cooper in New York for the United Nations General Assembly Sustainability Week. The DPM will lead discussions on the economic impact of sustainable tourism, as well as how it aligns with the UN's 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. The UNGA Sustainability Week, which ends on Friday, features high-level debates on debt sustainability and socio-economic equality, sustainable tourism, sustainable transportation, as well as building global resilience and promoting sustainable development through infrastructure. Officials say the Bahamas' participation shows a commitment to sustainable development and its leadership in integrating environmental responsibility into economic strategies on the global stage. And speaking of the environment, stay prepared. That's the message coming from the director of the National Hurricane Center. With hurricane season quickly approaching, local and international stakeholders have already begun collaborations preparing for the season, with entities such as the Hurricane Hunters stopping in New Providence today as they continued their Caribbean tour. Joining them was Director of the National Hurricane Center in the United States, Dr. Michael Brennan.
For the people of the Bahamas, the message is that you're really at risk every season, regardless of what any seasonal forecast says. It only takes one storm affecting your area to make it a busy year. And given the location of the Bahamas, you're at risk the entire hurricane season, all the way from June through November. So it's that preparedness and readiness has to be there every season, regardless of what any seasonal forecast says.
The Bahamas has been affected by dozens of storms over the years of all categories, most notably Hurricane Dorian in 2019 that had devastating impacts on Grand Bahama and Abaco. And while forecasts are important, Dr. Brennan says your preparation should not be based on those alone.
NOAA's hurricane seasonal forecast doesn't come out until late May, but at this point we're expecting La Nina conditions to develop in the eastern Pacific, which tends to favor a more active Atlantic hurricane season. But just a reminder that last year we had 20 named storms during an El Nino year. We had very warm waters in the Atlantic in terms of sea surface temperatures, which tend to result in a more active season.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as Iran promises severe retaliation for any action by Israel against its interests. Plus, a shocking sight to see as Georgian lawmakers brawl during debate on a foreign agent bill. And UK lawmakers set to vote on a landmark smoking bill expected to protect teenagers. The story when our news returns.
Transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Iran's Foreign Minister Hussein Amir Abdullahian warned that any Israeli retaliation would face an immediate and severe response following Iran's recent strike on Israel. The attack, launched on Sunday in retaliation for an airstrike on its embassy compound, raised concerns of escalating conflict. Despite causing limited damage, the attack signaled Iran's readiness to respond forcefully. Israel's military chief of staff acknowledged the need for a response but gave no specifics. Meanwhile, Israeli Chief of Staff Etzi Halevi said in a video statement Monday that Iran would face consequences for its unprecedented weekend attack on Israel. Amid calls for restraint from allies, the location and date of his video statement could not be independently verified. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu convened his war cabinet to discuss a response to Iran's direct attack. A scuffle broke out among Georgian lawmakers on Monday as the ruling party pushed forward a contentious bill on foreign agents, which has drawn criticism from Western nations and sparked protests domestically. Video footage showed a ruling party leader being punched by an opposition MP, triggering a wider brawl in Parliament. The ruling Georgian Dream Party, despite earlier shelving the bill due to protests, announced its reintroduction, requiring organizations receiving foreign funds to register as foreign agents or face fines. And British lawmakers set to vote on Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's proposal to ban cigarette sales to anyone under 16. Despite expected approval, the plan aimed at imposing strict anti-smoking measures has sparked dissent within Sunak's Conservative Party, including from former Prime Ministers Liz Truss and Boris Johnson. The government clarified that smoking won't be criminalized and current smokers will still be allowed to purchase cigarettes.
It will not affect current smokers' rights or entitlements in any way, and indeed we want to help them to quit. We are supporting them by almost doubling the funding for local stop smoking services. But instead, this bill is looking to the future to give the next generation the freedom to live longer, healthier, more productive lives.
Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was April 16th. Then in our news at 7:30, recently released crime stats show a 40% surge in complaints against officers last year. The numbers also revealing a 2-digit jump in complaints of corruption. And less than 2 months from the start of the Atlantic hurricane season, we get a glimpse into the work of some brave men and women risking it all to fly into the eye of the storm. Our Joshua Williams was there as their plane touched down. The story when Our News returns.
The digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
You've seen electric cars on the road, but isn't it time you drive one? Easy Car Sales invites you to experience the smooth, powerful ride and immerse yourself in the luxury and latest tech features. Find out why the Bahamas is going electric. Visit easy242.com and book your test drive now. What are you waiting for? Save money, drive smarter. There's an EV waiting for you at Easy Car Sales.
At the gateway to the Americas.
Welcome back to Our News. It's time now to turn our spotlight on events that shaped the day that was April 16th. Take a look. On this day in Bahamian history in 1889 was the birth of Cleveland Harrington Reeves in Arthurstown, Cat Island. Reeves, a lifelong educator and public servant, studied at Boys Central in Nassau and Tuskegee Institute in Alabama, USA. He was a founding member of the Bahamas Brotherhood and participated in various organizations. C.H. Reeves Junior High School on New Providence is named in his honor. He passed away on May 14, 1985. He was 96. Then in 1905, a hailstorm hit Spanish Wells, Eleuthera, surprising residents during a hot spring day. The hailstones varied in size, causing damage to vegetation and crops. Fast forward to this day in 2015, which saw the death of Jonathan "Johnny" Kemp in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Kemp, known for his hit song "Just Got Paid," was a prominent R&B singer. He was 55. April 16, 2013, then Police Commissioner Ellison Greenslade defended crime statistics amid criticism from various leaders and members of the public. Despite concerns, the statistics showed a decrease in murders compared to the previous year.
I do not like the disrespect that we get and the disrespect that the wider force gets. We don't deserve it from whomever gave it to us.
And we're not getting all of the statistics. I will tell you, the police is reluctant to give all of the statistics simply because it is so bad out there.
The facts are the facts that we give to you. I'm never going to enter another arena and offer an opinion on something that I know nothing about.
In 2014, then Chief Justice Sir Michael Barnett addressed concerns over bail issuance, insisting judges exercise discretion responsibly when considering the release of potentially dangerous individuals.
At the end of the day, the judge has to have the discretion because he always has to balance the presumption of innocence, the constitutional right to a fair trial within a reasonable time, with the need for the society to be protected against dangerous persons. And the only person who can make that judgment is not the Parliament, not the police, but the judge.
And in 2020, another confirmed case of COVID-19 was reported, along with one related death, bringing the total cases to 54 and the death toll to 9. Then Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands confirmed the case, emphasizing the ongoing challenge posed by the pandemic.
The Bahamas finds itself in a fairly enviable position of accelerating quite well, such that if we compare what we're doing regionally or to countries of similar size or whatever metric you want to use, I believe that the ramping up of testing is proceeding quite well. And we're going to continue to test and increase the amount of testing.
All right, to watch that historical recap again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is Marlena Leonard with the latest headlines. Marlena?
Thanks, Ken. Well, recently released crime stats show a 40% surge in complaints against police officers, plus risking it all to fly into the eye of the storm. Here are your latest headlines. Alarming numbers. First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30, complaints against officers see a 40% spike in 2023, prompting concern from the police commissioner. Hear his admission about public trust in law enforcement and why he says it's crucial. And an anti-crime advocate on the scene of yesterday's murder in Yellow Elder says crime is tearing away the fabric of our communities. Hear the profound impact he says it's having. Plus, the long-standing debate on marital rape criminalization resurfaces, why an equal rights advocate says progress is disappointing. And later, venturing into the eye of the storm, meet the brave men and women risking it all to keep us safe. Our News Live at 7:30 is back in a moment.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
You've seen electric cars on the road, but isn't it time you drive one? Easy Car Sales invites you to experience the smooth, powerful ride and immerse yourself in the luxury and latest tech features. Find out why the Bahamas is going electric. Visit easy242.com and book your test drive now. What are you waiting for? Save money, drive smarter. There's an EV waiting for you at Easy Car Sales.
At the gateway to the Americas, on the picturesque island of Grand Bahama, a pioneering initiative is taking shape. Lucaya Solar Power Limited presents the $15 million Lucaya Solar Power Project, the first of its kind in the Bahamas' energy landscape.
Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us. I'm Marlena Leonard. Well, complaints against police officers saw a double-digit increase in 2023. Crime statistics from that year also show a triple-digit increase in internal police complaints. Police Commissioner Clayton Fernander calling it concerning. Berthany McDermott has the details.
2023 police crime statistics revealing civilian complaints against police officers saw a 13% increase that year, going from 170 in 2022 to 192 in 2023. Meanwhile, internal police complaints ballooned by 121%, going from 58 in 2022 to 128 in 2023. Corruption complaints also saw a 29% increase. 2022 had 7 complaints, while 2023 had 9.
This is always a concern for myself and the top team as we continue to ensure that our officers do the right thing. And where we find that they go contrary, they are charged and put before the court.
Of the civilian matters, the crime stats revealed 59 of them were unfounded or had insufficient evidence. 10 were informally resolved, and 2 cases saw officers convicted or resigned. 5 ended in civil action, while 14 are pending trial. The police commissioner says it's important the public knows the force is with them and not against them.
We want to ensure that discipline is the order of the day for this top team.
Internal matters saw 22 convictions and 8 acquittals. 3 were withdrawn, 1 ended in resignation or retirement, and 1 was unfounded. 49 are still under investigation, and 37 are before the tribunal.
They cannot be a part of this noble organization if they are involved in the life of crime. Go on that side, then we know what to do at the end of the day when you're involved in the life of crime.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
In the wake of a tragic homicide that has rocked the community of Yellow Elder, some are calling for an intervention. On the murder scene yesterday, community advocate Mandel Miller says the senseless violence continues to have a profoundly negative effect on the Yellow Elder community.
It's having a very traumatic effect on residents more so. The residents are the victims that's left behind to deal with just their sense of security being diminished. And so, whatever it is that our leaders, can do to help restore a sense of safety in communities, not just here in Yellow Elder, but throughout the length and breadth of our country.
According to the latest crime statistics, the country recorded 110 homicides in 2023 and 42 so far this year. Miller is calling on policymakers to put in place stricter penalties for lawbreakers.
We have to get very proactive in our policies as it relates to mitigating the challenges we have related to crime. I don't think enough is enough. When I say I don't think enough is enough, I don't think we're doing enough, and I don't think doing enough is enough right now with the level of violence that we're seeing in our country.
Meanwhile, Equality Bahamas calling the recent comments from the Prime Minister on the classification of rape disturbing. Prime Minister Philip Davis recently telling media, rape is rape, whether you are married or unmarried. While Equality Bahamas Director Alicia Wallace agrees with that sentiment, she says ensuring there's legislation backing that comment is critical. She says she feels his comments seem like an indication of a lack of political will to make the necessary amendments.
The Prime Minister expressing his dislike for describing rape or having categories of rape is not as trivial as it may sound. It is distressing and dangerous. We women, we advocates did not create categories of rape. They exist in the law. Look at the Sexual Offenses Act. It has sections that are specific, for example, to incest and to the rape of a minor, along with some other specific situations.
The discussion of the criminalization of marital rape has come up across multiple administrations. Most recently, it came up under the Davis administration in 2022 when a draft amendment bill struck the words "who is not a spouse" from Section 3 of the Sexual Offenses Act. Since then, Wallace says the progress has been disappointing.
And it was put on the back burner as this administration attempted to distract us with the gender-based violence bill, which it also failed to pass. Instead, passing the completely lackluster and embarrassing Protection Against Violence bill, which it said addresses quote-unquote general violence, which is nearly the opposite of what we need. We need a specific law that substantively addresses the issue of specific forms of violence that disproportionately affect women and girls.
Officials on the ground in North Andros are still battling that forest fire that dominated headlines for about a week now. Officials say the fire has been mostly confined, but it's still a health risk for residents. Chief Superintendent of the North Andros Division, Bradbury Stiles, telling Our News they're still battling hotspots. He says due to the location, fire trucks do not have easy access, leaving them no other choice but to burn out. Stiles also shares the lack of rainfall in recent weeks has done nothing to help the situation. Police Commissioner Clayton Fernanda recently revealed that additional resources, inclusive of a 2,000-gallon fire truck, as well as additional officers from the Royal Bahamas Police and Defense Forces and NEMA are on the ground assisting. Stiles says residents have also pitched in to help fight the blaze. Well, as those firefighters said, it has been rather dry lately, but will those dry conditions continue? Meteorologist Ian McKenzie is in the Weather Center now with your first look at weather. Ian?
Thanks, Marlena, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Tuesday evening forecast. We're currently outside our studios. We're under partly cloudy skies with a temperature of 78. Winds are from the east-northeast at 15 miles per hour. Feels like temperature of 71. Satellite and radar imagery at this time, not much in terms of precipitation or even cloud content across the area. This is all courtesy of a dominant high-pressure system. Stick around for extended forecast. We'll tell you more great news about the weather.
Thanks, Ian. Still to come on Our News, ever met a hurricane hunter? Well, tonight we'll introduce you to some brave men and women who risk it all to go deep into the eye of a storm. But first, young reporters for the environment competition entries are in. We'll tell you more about those entries and why they matter. Plus, the outgoing U.S. Chargé d'Affaires reflects on her time in the Bahamas, highlighting her achievements and offering advice to her successor. We'll also tell you what she said about our family islands when Our News returns.
And the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies?
The Bahamas Reef Environmental Educational Foundation says the entries for the Young Reporters for the Environment competition are in. Reef is the national operator for the YRE competition in the Bahamas. The actual competition is an international initiative which aims to have young people from 11 to 25 submit meaningful content promoting conservation. Crystal Darling-Sargent is Brief's communications officer and also serves as the national operator for the Bahamas of the Young Reporters for the Environment competition this year.
We have about the same amount of submissions that we had last year, which is roughly a little over 30. You know, it's been quite a diverse amount of entries. We opened the competition this year for not just marine pollution, but students could also discuss climate change, which is a huge issue nowadays. And they could also talk about the loss of biodiversity as well, which is the loss of important plants and animal species in the Bahamas.
Entrants had the option to submit an article, a photo with a 150-word caption, or a 3-minute video. Darling-Sargent says the majority of entrants went with the article submission. As for Family Island representation,
the bulk of the advertising we do would be in New Providence just because of where we're located. However, we have gotten some very, very good entries from students in Eleuthera, in Long Island, in Grand Bahama, and other islands as well throughout the year. So it's really a competition for everyone, and it's meant to engage every student in the Bahamas, no matter what island they're on.
as she wraps up her tour here in the Bahamas after 3.5 years, outgoing U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Usha Pitts says leaving the Bahamas is going to be hard for her. She says there have been many highs here, most notably the visit of U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris last June and the arrival of COVID-19 vaccines during the pandemic. She also shared this bit of advice for her successor.
Every meeting I had, whether online or distance, Bahamians say, well, you gotta get out to the Family Islands. You don't know the real Bahamas till you get out to the Family Islands. And I got so sick of hearing that, Well, a year later, I could start traveling around, visited Eleuthera and Abaco and Grand Bahama, Cat Island, been to probably more than half a dozen different islands. And I was like, oh yeah, you really can't understand the Bahamas till you visit the Family Islands. So I think that is the most obvious piece of advice, but she won't need me to give it to her because every Bahamian's going to tell her that.
And if you ask Pitts about her favorite Family Island, here's what she has to say.
Eleuthera. Oh, I have to be careful because when I say that, all the Exumians get really mad at me, including the Deputy Prime Minister. So I got to be careful. But I got to say, some Bahamian islands are beautiful. Some have wonderful culture. Some have terrific history. They're all just wonderful in their own way. But if there's one island that combines all of them in a way that I really, really love, it is Eleuthera.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When our news comes back from the break, mostly dry conditions across the island today. Meteorologist Ian McKenzie is back in the Weather Center with your extended look at temperatures.
Coming up in sports, Team Bahamas is named for the World Athletics Relays, and we get an update on the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium.
Plus, as hurricane season approaches, we'll show you the C-130 aircraft that does the impossible, flying into extreme rain and winds to provide valuable data for forecasters when our news returns.
and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies?
This is Our News. Welcome back. Team Bahamas is named, upgrades continue on the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium, and DeAndre talks about his first season in Portland. Here now with Our Sports presented by 10th year seniors is Ronaldo Dorset and John Mark Nutt. Ronaldo?
Thanks, Marlena, and welcome to Our Sports presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Team Bahamas is set to compete in 4 events next month at the World Athletics Relays. Let's take a look at the squad that will take on the world. The women's 4x100 meter pool will be headlined by Devin Charlton and Charisma Taylor. It also includes former Olympian Padria Seymour, Camille Rutherford, Printasia Johnson, Jemiah Nabi, Cheyenne Demerit, and Nia Richards. The men's 4x100 meter pool includes former Olympians Warren Fraser and Samson Colebrook, along with Somali Farrington, Ian Kerr, Carlos Brown, Deidre Clark, Blake Bartlett, and Jeremiah Adderley. The men's 4x400 meter relay team will be led by reigning 400 meter Olympic champion Stephen Gardner, who continues his return from injury. Joining him will be Alonzo Russell, Wendell Miller, Zion Shepard, Clark, Zion Miller, Levine Joseph, and Shaquem Hall-Smith. Two-time Olympic 400 meter champion Shawnee Miller-Weibo and Anthony Strawn will join the group for the mixed 4x400 meter relay team alongside Gardner, Russell, Miller, Shepard, LaCarthia Cooper, and Robin Roll Curry.
The Thomas A. Robinson Stadium is getting a $36 million facelift just before the War Relays. Sasha Lightbourne fills us in.
There's no doubt in our minds it will be ready.
That was National Sports Authority General Manager Moses Johnson ensuring the Our News sports team that come May 4th, the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium will be ready for the World Athletics Relays. Responsible for the interior work at the stadium, as well as the track itself, is SJK Engineering and Construction.
New carpets, new tiles in the ceiling, air conditioning being repaired. We didn't do all the painting, lighting. We on target.
Now, 90% of the track has already been installed. You can see the process continuing behind me.
We lay out the material loose, and then we roll up each roll, and we use compression seams, and we glue the seams so everything's 100% sealed from the elements. And every seam is installed under the white painted line, so then afterwards you paint the line and everything's covered up.
Well, SJK and a company called Mondo is in bed together, doing the work together to get it done for May 4th, and it will be ready May 4th.
So what's left to be done?
All it is now is just the aesthetics and then the cleaning, putting up of the pageantry and the other aesthetics that will accompany the World Relays.
Now it is expected that the track will be fully completed by the end of the week. Reporting for Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors, I'm Sasha Lightbourne. Back to you guys.
The 2023-24 season was the first season for DeAndre Ayton in the PDX, and the big man said it was a learning experience for his career.
Having a new start, it was filled with a lot of excitement, a lot of adventure, a lot of obstacles, a lot of ups and downs, and I learned about a lot of who I am.
Ayton averaged 16.7 points and 11.1 rebounds per game and shot 57% from the field in 55 contests for the Trailblazers. Ayton's numbers over the last 2 months of the season increased to over 23 points and 12 rebounds per game.
The NCAA outdoor track and field season is underway, and several Bahamians had standout performances over the weekend. At the Tom Jones Memorial Invite in Gainesville, Florida, Keyshawn Strawn threw a season's best 76.25 meters for the Auburn Tigers. Also at the meet for the host Florida Gators, Anthea Charlton reached several milestones in the long jump. Her mark of 6.60 meters is the 7th best jump in Gator history and is currently number 2 on the NCAA top list for 2024. Tennessee's Javonia Volcott turned in a PR of 51.15 seconds for the 2nd best mark in Lady Vol's history. Over at the Leon Johnson Invitational, Northwestern State Taraj Hudson took 3rd with a PR in the hammer throw at 50.20 meters and threw a season's best of 55.32 meters in the discus. Also for NSU, Bernicia Knowles posted a 51.79 meter throw to take bronze in the hammer and posted a season's best throw of 39 meters in the discus. Kanitra Mackey was 4th overall in the javelin at 40.50 meters. That'll do it for Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. For John Mark Nutt, I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on Our News tonight, we'll introduce you to the brave men and women flying this C-130 aircraft into extreme rain and winds to provide valuable data for forecasters each hurricane season. And speaking of forecasters, Ian is back in the Weather Center with your extended look at temperatures when Our News returns.
Are you?
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Welcome back to Our News. Another day of beautiful weather here in the capital, but what does the rest of the week hold for weather across our islands? Back in the Weather Center is meteorologist Ian McKenzie with your extended forecast. Ian?
Thanks, Marlena. Welcome back, everyone. Here's a look now at your extended forecast where we have high pressure dominating the area. This should spell pleasant conditions pretty much through most of the week. However, we will see a bit of uptick in the winds, boding for all areas, northeast seas 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 7 feet. That will post a caution across all areas. Low tide at 9:30 p.m. tonight, high tide at 3:55 a.m. tomorrow. Here's a look at your national forecast. In your extended forecast, as I said earlier, high pressure will dominate areas, and this will spell pretty much dry conditions for most of the week. We're looking at those highs in the low 80s, bumping up a bit by the end of the week into early next week, with your low temperatures hovering around the low 70 mark. That's a wrap in the evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, fun night, everyone.
Well, like it or not, hurricane season is right around the corner. Each year, hurricane hunting planes play a vital role in keeping people safe. And today, one of those aircrafts landed in New Providence. Our Joshua Williams was there and filed this report.
With hurricane season less than a month away, local and international partners have already begun work. This C-130 aircraft does the impossible, flying into extreme rain and winds to provide valuable data. Acting Director for the Bahamas Department of Meteorology, Jeffrey Simmons, says it's international partnerships like this that are key.
They assist us in terms of locating the center of our hurricanes and giving us a good indication of how hurricanes are moving so that we can then share the information, prepare our forecasts, and share it with the public so that you guys can be aware and on alert for what's going on whenever a hurricane is threatening us.
The aircraft, piloted by the United States Air Force, has been in service for many years, flying through nearly 100 storms up to date. Another entity that uses this data is the National Hurricane Center. They're responsible for the naming of storms as well as advising meteorologists in different countries. Here is Director Dr. Michael Brennan.
I want to emphasize the importance of the data that those aircraft collect. That data goes directly to us at the National Hurricane Center. It's also shared with Jeffrey and his team, and they're telling us exactly where the storm is located, how strong it is, how big it is, how big is that hurricane force and tropical storm force wind field, how is that going to tie into how much storm surge or how much rainfall there's going to be. And those data go into the forecast models that we use to make track and intensity forecasts for the hurricanes, and they make those forecasts 10 to 20% better.
A tour of the plane shows a world of different machinery, instruments, equipment, and cables. One of the flight meteorologists makes sense of it all.
Our fixed mission is kind of what we're the most known for, which is where we actually fly an X pattern through the storm. And we do that in order to sample the winds in every quadrant. So as many of us who've been, in the storm's path before, we know there can sometimes be a large difference between, say, the northeast and southwest side. So we're doing that. And the whole time we're collecting weather data. We collect high-density observations. Those are automated. We collect them every 30 seconds, and then we send them out to the world in 10-minute packages.
Now, this aircraft will be leaving tomorrow as they prepare to assist other Caribbean countries as they prepare for the hurricane season as well. Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Definitely jealous you got an inside look at that, Josh. Thanks for that report. And thank you for joining us for Our News tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Marlena Leonard. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.